Hello and welcome to a new episode of the top 3 pen videos. My name is AppelBoom, and in these videos we ask famous pen people their personal top 3 pens. In this week's episode we ask Larry from the YouTube channel Larry's Fountain Pens his personal top 3 pens. Larry is a great guy living in Texas, which we have shipped several pens now. Let's have a look at his personal top 3 pens.
Well, hello everybody. Larry here from Larry's Fountain Pens, and I want to share with you some of my favorite fountain pens that means special to the heart. And why is that? Not because I bought them, it's because they were given to me. And I have 3 that I want to talk about a little bit, but I actually have 5. So 2 of them are an honorable mention because I just have to fit them in somehow. But the reason I want to talk a little bit about these pens, not because they're high-end pens, they're elaborate, expensive pens, but they're a fountain pen. And what does a fountain pen actually mean? What do you get out of a fountain pen? So, first of all, let me show you my very first pen that I bought in 2015. I believe it was January of 2015. The Jinhao, I believe this is the 599 demonstrator. And if you see closely, it's already got a crack here. And it doesn't shut properly anymore. It's all broken, but I can still use this pen for parts, but I keep this pen for memories to remind me this was my first pen to start in my adventure in the fountain pen world. No, I already had a working knowledge of fountain pens when I was back in the 5th grade. And off and on, I would watch videos of fountain pens, and it finally generated my mind into getting back in to something that I truly love and truly have missed. So what took me so long? So this is the Jinhao, like I said, and this has a fine nib. Well, I needed something that was affordable, because on my budget it has to be affordable, and these were like under $1.29, so, and free shipping. So right there it was a win-win for me. And I actually like the way they write, and I actually bought a blue one to match this one because blue is my favorite color. So it all started from this pen. I started revolving around this certain pen. This is what got me started. It wasn't a high-end pen. So then, later in the years, a gentleman named Neil reached out to me and said, "Larry, I want to give you a pen." And he said, "Pick any of these pens you want." So I chose one of the Kustoms, which I really like. One of the coolest fountain pens around, and it has a Bock titanium nib, which I really love their titanium nibs. I like a nice heavy pen. I like the looks, I like the feel, I love the color. This pen, I knew it was meant for me. And, you know, I just couldn't believe that somebody reached out to me to want to send me a fountain pen. Now, how cool was that? A person with a big heart that really cared enough to reach out and say, Larry, I'm going to help you on your journey. Fountain pens are people too. That's how I describe them. And now for my next pen, a person reached out to me, anonymous, and said, Larry, I'd like to send you this fountain pen. This is a Montblanc 149 1990 14K vintage. So, he wanted to stay anonymous, and I was just overwhelmed of the generosity this viewer had, and just a huge heart, and wanted me to have this. Another one of the honorable mention, is Norman from Australia. Sent me this cool Pilot pen. It's a Pilot Prera. Really a neat pen that I've been looking at and kind of read my mind. So this was a very, very exciting day for pen mail for me when I received this pen in the mail. Last but not least, my last honorable mention, I have to show you this pen. I was given this pen at the pen show from a little friend of mine named Andrew. I believe he was 5 years old at the time. He said, hey Larry, I want you to have this pen. It's the Jinhao Swan, I believe, pen. It's a swan, but really a neat looking pen. And just imagine a 5-year-old coming up to you and presenting a pen for you. Pens are people too. I always say that, because if pens could talk, what an incredible story they would share with each and every one of us. Pens were founded a long time ago, and they would be there available for anyone and everyone who had a chance to entertain a fountain pen. Fountain pens are something that, for me, fills my heart with love and joy. I can express myself, who I am. It kind of helps me make it through a rough day when I pick up a pen. It doesn't have to be a top-end pen. It could be any pen. And get to ink it up. And, write in cursive. That's a big thing for me. And I'm trying to relearn how to write cursive, because with my day and age, I tend to write fast, and that's kind of messy. But for me, it's not how much you pay for a pen, but it's all about the need for a pen. For me, it's not to keep up with the Joneses, but for me, it's to bring that fountain pen into my world so I can share it with everyone that's able to watch my channel, to show them the pens that I have and tell them a little bit about the pen that I possibly can to get them interested into fountain pens. Fountain pens are my heart, as you all well know. And we must continue to keep fountain pens alive. Doesn't matter where you shop. We all have our certain pen companies that we go and buy from. But I've had an amazing journey. Fountain pens, I can't say enough of. But remember this, my friends. It doesn't matter how much you pay for a pen. It doesn't matter how great that pen looks. What matters is what's under the hood. It's all about the heart of the pen, the nib. Because if the nib is not a worthy nib, then you're going to have a bad writing experience. And that's what I look for. That nib, that heart of the pen. Because once I get that pen in my hand and I ink it up and get to writing, it's a feeling that just overcomes me. And I really feel great for that time that I'm writing. It kind of takes me back to when I was in the 5th grade again. You know, I can go on, but, you know, there's all kinds of pens, all types of nibs, all types of materials used for nibs. There's machine pens, there's handmade pens, there's pen makers, you name it, we've got them nowadays. So this is a little bit about my journey in about fountain pens. And I hope you got something out of this, because there's just a whole lot of love that someone can give to a fountain pen. Take care. Peace.